Jamie.
Yes, Matt?
It is podcast 41.
Get out of here.
How are your asteroids these days?
Yeah, they're clearing up. I got some cream from the doctors, so hopefully in another week I'll be all right.
Brilliant.
The Interplanetary Podcast. The exploration of space for the benefit of all mankind. Your hosts here in London, Matthew Russell and Jamie Franklin.
It's such a grown-up podcast, isn't it? Oh, it's the highbrow side of the podcast world. This, isn't it?
The Interplanetary Podcast.
Putting the ace back into space.
Oh yeah, baby space. I really want to start the show with what I thought was the funniest thing of the week.
Go on then.
Well, I've got two funny stories. I thought the funniest one was, did you see Buzz Aldrin when Mike Pence was introducing him?
He definitely does not like being called the second man on the moon, does he?
Oh, man. If you haven't seen this video, go watch the video of Buzz Aldrin being introduced as the second man on the moon. We'll put it on the podcast notes.
Pictures tell 1,000 words.
The second man on the moon, Buzz Aldrin, and his face, he kind of goes, oh, God, that one again. And then Mike Pence turns around to look at him, and he kind of looks all smiley. Oh, hi, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's great.
And I'm thinking, suck it up, Buzz, because it's like, you've done,
to be fair,
arguably the greatest. Being the second man on the moon is one of the greatest things that any human's ever done.
I wouldn't mind that title.
You've lived a life of great wealth and fame and been able to do all the things you've wanted to do. So just suck it up, Buzz. I mean, for goodness sake.
Yeah, there's worse things to be called, isn't there?
Yeah.
I'm sure Mike Pence has heard a few of them.
I was going to say, oh no, I'm the second man on the moon. What a nightmare.
Compared to the worst administration that America's ever seen. Yeah, I know which one I'd rather have.
Yeah, I'd definitely be Buzz than Mike.
So,
for
Matt,
sure.
Another story from this week that was hilarious was the... I don't know how do you describe Alex Jones to someone who doesn't know who he is? He's a conspiracy theorist. He used to have a show called InfoWars, which I believe was axed. Am I right? And now he's just got his radio show.
Oh, I didn't know InfoWars had been axed, but
maybe I'm wrong. But I thought that he'd been axed off of that because of several,
massively controversial things he's said and done.
Yeah, not just controversial, because he was renowned for that throughout his career, which spanned decades. But on a couple of occasions, he really did hit a bit too close to the bone.
I kind of equate him to being a little bit like an American extreme version of Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah, that's kind of not a bad comparison.
Alex Jones, he's a really fascinating character. My favourite thing at the moment is that he's being divorced and his wife wants to not allow him access to the kids, and one of the things that in the court case is that you can see what a terrible person he is. You just have to watch InfoWars. But his defence is that it's just a character. That he's playing a character. So maybe everything he says and does is just this really almost like postmodernist art character that he's managed to cobble together.
Yeah, well, this is the strange thing. It's like he's admitted that in court that it's a character, obviously to try and, whether it's a character or not, he's kind of saying that to try and save his own bacon, and obviously he wants to see his kids, and that's fair enough. But if you actually think about it, he's gone back to just being the way that he always was, just saying the most absurd things. It's like, if you think some strange things a conspiracy theorist has said, like we didn't walk on the moon. Sorry, Marcus. But if you think about what Alex is saying, it's a whole different ball game. I mean, it's a new level of wacko.
But he makes this. But we should get onto the story, shouldn't we?
We should.
This guy called Robert David Steele claims that Mars is inhabited.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's by people sent there against their will.
Shall I read the quote?
Yeah.
We actually believe that there is a colony on Mars that is populated by children who were kidnapped and sent into space on a 20-year ride. not kids then. So once they got to Mars, they had no alternative but to be slaves on the Mars colony. I mean, that's a quote, isn't it?
It's so outlandish and preposterous.
You've got to really have looked yourself in the mirror that morning and said, should I say this? Seems a bit extreme. No, I'm going to go for it.
20 years when the ride itself normally only takes 9 months or 8 months.
Yeah.
It just seems
and also
a bit weird.
Mars is populated by children, but it took 20 years to get there. So I'm assuming that they're adults now, unless there's another wacko bit to this theory.
I mean, it's got to be. The only reason why I'm mentioning it is it has come up quite a few times in the news feeds this week. So it's obviously sort of like a story that's managed to gain some traction.
Well, do you know what surprised me?
Crazy.
Is that NASA actually came out and said, no, there's not children on Mars. And I kind of like that they said it. And I kind of also think that haven't they gone back on their... Because you remember they used to say, with stuff like we didn't go to the moon, they just wouldn't dignify it with a response.
Yeah.
Because they thought, well, we did, and it's actually not worth replying to you crazies,
Yeah, so Alex Jones' response to Steele was, he goes, look, I know that 90% of the NASA missions are secret, and I've been told by high-level NASA engineers you have no idea. And you just think, oh, my God.
Yeah. I'd like to know who these high-level NASA engineers are. Funny that he never mentions names, isn't it?
When apparently whenever the probes fly over this little bit of Mars, they switch them off.
Yeah,
they switch them off. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And there aren't any rovers on Mars, or there are rovers on Mars. They can't quite decide whether that's true or not true. It's just crazy. But yeah, Guy Webster from NASA.
Yeah, so he went on to say there are no humans on Mars. There are active rovers on Mars. There was a rumor going around last week that there weren't. There are. It's brilliant. Brilliant.
But there are no humans.
Yeah, exactly. So
absolutely
my
brilliant.
Word. But yeah, if you want an entertaining half an hour, go and watch any InfoWars clips on YouTube, and also marvel at Alex Jones's voice. It sounds he's been gargling with gravel and Marlboros.
Just make sure that you manage to watch it without giving him any money.
Yeah, please don't give him any money.
That's the thing, I suppose. If you're wondering what Buzz Aldrin was doing hanging around with Mike Pence, that is because of a new initiative by President Donald Trump, who's reinstated the National Space Council.
Ah, okay.
So this was quite an interesting. Again, Eric Berger on Ars Technica did a pretty good coverage on this one, because he noticed that there was a distinct lack of new space on this particular meeting.
Yes.
So obviously everyone's been invited down to start this new Space Council, and it gives a chance for Mike Pence to kind of take control of NASA essentially and give it a sort of mandate. And where it fits in with the US government's function and the methodology of the US civil space program.
Aha.
So yeah, and it's got a lot to do with how to get costs down, to make NASA more cost efficient and run more like a really vigorous business. The kind of normal Trump bump,
yes.
I suppose. Neither Trump nor Pence went into any detail about how they were going to how they were going to bring in private partners.
Okay,
so that's not looking good. And everyone there was really made up of all the sort of contractors and subcontractors that helped build SLS and Orion.
Right.
So the Deep Space Program network. And so that they represent all the kind of industrialized states. Yeah. And you can see that there's obviously they're enormously powerful lobbying groups, this lot. But SpaceX's Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos from Blue Origin, of course, were both asked to attend but couldn't because it was too short notice.
Right.
But pretty much everyone else there
was there anything political kind of in the fact that Elon wasn't there? He said he wasn't going to give any more advice, didn't he? After
he said he wasn't,
Paris Treaty.
I think he would want to be on this National Space Council, or certainly be advising it. And now he's left the other advisory group, the science advisory group that Trump had, because clearly Trump's not listening to any scientist ever.
Yeah.
So what's the point? Some people, an official involved in the Newspace community, told Ars Technica that they didn't want any commercial space there, which is a little bit worrying.
A little bit,
but
yeah.
it could be that the attendees of this particular party, as they were introducing it, had been invited by the Policy Council staff.
Yes.
And therefore, maybe it just represented their bias rather than the bias of the Space Council itself.
Yes.
So there is going to be a point where people are made members of the new Users Advisory Group, and that's going to be the key. That's going to be the key point where we see where all this is going.
Absolutely, yeah. So to be continued.
So it is busy. It's quite an exciting development, though, the Space Council. But it'd be really interesting to see what the kind of overall push of it is.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a new story we shall be watching unfold.
We
on
wait
the podcast.
with fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I mean, we're both new space advocates, aren't we?
We are,
Jamie.
Yeah,
more than
yeah,
old
yeah.
space, really.
Yeah, big
I
time.
like a bit of old space, but I like a bit of new space.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? yeah.
Right. So, Jamie,
Yeah.
how are your asteroids?
Oh, they're okay. You know, they're getting better.
Yeah, it's Asteroid Day yesterday. We missed it. We should really apologise that the podcast is a day late, by the way.
Good things are worth the wait.
But both Jamie and I have been very, very busy. Busy that we missed our friend Debbie down at Asteroid Day at Imperial College yesterday.
I know.
Although I have been speaking to her, and she's going to give me a little call tomorrow to
Nice.
tell me all about it. So next week we shall have a little bit from Debbie about how it all went on Asteroid Day.
Nice.
But let's do our little bit, Jamie, and raise raise the awareness of asteroids again. I like doing this.
So, Matt, where did it all start?
It started pretty much on the first day of the 19th century. And when I say that, I think it's the January the 1st, 1801. But I like to think of 1801 as the start of the 19th century.
Okay,
because you'd never call... When you're in a year, you wouldn't call it, I'm in year zero, would you?
No.
You'd say this is the first year.
Let's go from that.
You could say the very first day of the 19th century, 1801... There was an Italian astronomer.
Can I pronounce the name?
No, you can go for it.
Okay, here we go, because I've been in Italy recently, so obviously I'm going to be good at this.
Yeah, go for it.
Gioacchino Giuseppe Maria Ubaldo Niccolo Piazzi.
I think that was really good.
Yeah?
That was pretty good.
I'll have to send it to my Italian friend, see how many points out of 10 I got.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 8. I'm going to go with a strong 8 there.
Yeah?
I think that was very convincing.
What a name.
Beautiful name. And he found a little tiny star in the constellation of Taurus. And then the next night, he realised that the star had changed position.
Say what?
And say what? And at this time in the early 19th century, they realised that stars were so far away that you couldn't possibly see them moving over such short time frames. And so what he'd actually done was discover the first asteroid, which is cool, and he named it after the Roman goddess of agriculture, Ceres. And just for those listening, that's spelt Ceres.
Yes.
Yeah, most confusing, but Ceres, yes. And so Ceres is the first, and just so happens to be the largest by quite a long way, actually.
Still the biggest discovered, right?
Yep.
Which encompasses over 1/3 of the estimated total mass of all the asteroids in the asteroid belt, which is ridiculous, isn't it?
Pretty amazing. It's 600 miles across.
So it's 600 miles across. Okay, so compared to our moon, our moon is what?
2,200 miles across, something like that.
Okay, so it's not as big as our moon.
Nope.
But it's still big enough for gravity to pull it into a spherical shape.
Yeah, now that spherical shape is going to be quite meaningful a little bit later on.
So it fits into the definition of a dwarf planet?
It does. So
potentially an asteroid can be a dwarf planet. Who knew?
Well, They didn't. Well, I mean, let's face it; it's all semantics. But when it was an asteroid, but when Pluto got demoted, it was promoted to dwarf planet status as well.
Right,
but there's certainly 10 very large asteroids in the asteroid belt.
Yeah.
So there's Ceres, there's Pallas, there's Juno, there's Vesta, there's Astia, Hebe, Iris, Flora, Metis, and Hygeia. So those are those.
Which is your favourite one, Matt?
I like Pallas because it was the name of a really good prog rock band. But I reckon I know which one yours is.
You know what? I haven't mentioned band names this episode because it upset you last time, and you got and brought up prog rock bands
called Pallas, and they were spelt like that as well. They were spelt like that as well.
I'm going to go with Juno.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Keyboards available at all good shops.
So, my favourite fact about the asteroid belt, is that the asteroid belt is just nothing like you see in the movies. You know, in Star Wars, where they're flying in between all the asteroids, and you go
dodging in and out,
like that. It's just nonsense. So, on average, how far away do you think they are away from each other?
Oh, I don't know.
Couple of miles, 3 miles, something like that.
Yeah, I reckon.
Try 1.2 million miles between each asteroid.
Come on, really?
So
wait, are you telling me that for the second week running, Star Wars has been scientifically inaccurate?
Well, remember, they're not flying through our asteroid belt, are they? In fact, weren't they flying through the debris of a planet that had just been blown up?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I think they're allowed.
All is forgiven, George.
But certainly, when people think about flying through the asteroid belt, that's how they would think about it.
That's how they perceive it. Yeah, for sure. Blimey, that is a long way in between, isn't it?
Yeah.
2 million kilometres between each other.
And to be honest, back in February 1973, scientists weren't sure if spacecraft could survive going through the asteroid belt on the way to Jupiter from Mars. And that's why they sent Pioneer 10 off to sort of really test that. And that's why it was called Pioneer, because it's like off it going pioneering through that deadly part of the solar system. It turns out it's not deadly at all, that no transversing spaceship has ever come close to smashing into anything accidentally. So it's a pretty clear zone. It's just we always call it the asteroid belt, and in pictures in school but Matt, books, it shows it all as dense rocks and everything.
Between 20,000 and 50,000 years ago, a small asteroid about 80 feet, which is about 24 metres in diameter, smacked into what is now Arizona and formed Meteor Crater, measuring about 4,000 feet in diameter.
Whoa.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's the Barringer Crater, and it's the best preserved.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, so
I need to go and see that.
Yeah, I mean, the pictures of Barringer Crater are ace. They're really good. But the
I suppose it's probably best looked at from space, or when I say space, from above.
Yeah, we should just quickly clarify the asteroid, meteorite, meteor thing, shouldn't we?
We should, yeah.
So yeah, meteor is an asteroid or comet actually, really, that sort of entered the Earth's atmosphere, and they become meteorites if they hit the floor.
Okay, that's why.
I believe so. I believe that's what it is. Yeah, so, asteroids mainly are in the asteroid belt. Of course, there's some that sort of wandered in and sort of orbit in dangerous places near Earth's orbit, which makes it all very inconvenient, particularly for the dinosaurs.
But what's the definition of an asteroid? I mean, is it just a large chunk of rock or metal that isn't big enough to be anything else?
Yeah, I guess the asteroid definition. Yeah, I suppose it has to come from the asteroid belt. It's a little bit vague, like everything. There's a kind of blurred edges at the sides because there are sort of snowy, icy bodies in the asteroid belt. But I think they'd still be called asteroids rather than comets. So, and of course Psyche, which we've talked about on the programme quite a few times when we're talking about the Psyche mission that's off to it, is a big chunk of metal that looks like it's probably the core of a planet that got smashed to bits in the early universe, in the early solar system, we should say.
Yes.
So most of these asteroids are all spinning, and they usually sort of spin on their axis, and it takes about 4.5 hours for them to spin. And it takes about 5 years for them to go around the Earth if they're in the asteroid belt.
5 years.
5 years. They don't have atmospheres, of course.
No.
And about once a year, an asteroid about the size of a car will hit the Earth's atmosphere and burn up before reaching the surface.
And so the ones that have got through, why have they got through over others? Is it just that they're bigger, or is it what? Is it that they're made out of a different metal?
Oh, I think there's quite a few reasons. Yeah, there's lots of different types of asteroid for one, and there's different shapes, and it's also, I guess, the angle that they actually come in at as well.
And how fast they go.
Because there must be some asteroids that come in and actually bounce, like like when you throw stones across the water and they sort of skip.
Yeah.
Ducks and drakes, we used to call it. I think that you get that effect on the Earth's atmosphere. So you can get ones that just literally skip off the Earth's atmosphere and go flying back off into space. But yeah, I mean, I think it just all depends on the angle that they come in at and how fast they're going as well, because they'll be going at all different sorts of speeds. And of course, if you've got a comet could be coming in at a ridiculous speed, much faster than an asteroid would be coming in. So pretty dangerous stuff. Quite rare,
It really is,
but it is quite as a sort of threatening thing. There's a Neil deGrasse Tyson quote that I saw where he was sort of saying that the chances of dying from an asteroid strike is the same as dying in a plane accident, I think. Now, he can I don't know anyone who's died from an asteroid strike, so he can only be sort of saying that in terms of when an asteroid does hit the Earth, it's going to kill so many people that when you, in the grand scheme of things, if you took amount of deaths over 20,000 years or something, then it would be about the same. Seems a really odd quote.
Also, of course, if it does get through our atmosphere, it's likely to hit the ocean.
Yeah.
Much more likely to hit the ocean.
How annoying would it be if you were on a plane and it hit your plane? And that'd be like the double
that would
whammy.
Be bad luck, wouldn't it? That would be bad luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the chances of that happening must be very slim, but yeah, that would be unfortunate.
I'll tell you what one of the coolest things is.
Go on.
There are now 150, roughly, thereabouts, asteroids that have a little moon.
Really?
Yeah. How cool is that?
And how do they get this moon? Is there certain properties they have to have?
No, I think they just have to be big enough to have attracted some other body near it and ended up with a little moon.
Interesting.
So the first asteroid moon system was Ida, and it's got a little moon called Dactyl, and that was only discovered in 1993. So it's pretty recent discovery that they have little moons. In fact, I do actually remember that being on the news. I'm not being that impressed, but now I feel much more impressed.
I'd love to know what that looks like close up. Really interesting.
Yeah.
Asteroid with the moon.
So NASA have flown out quite a few missions. In fact, ESA and NASA have both flown out missions to asteroids and comets and things. I think NASA's probably the most famous one is their Near spaceship, which is one of the Discovery program, and I think they eventually called it Shoemaker, named after the astronomer. And that one landed on the asteroid Eros.
Okay.
So in 1973, Pioneer 10 went through the asteroid belt. Then we had to wait quite a long time for any kind of next thing, which is October 1991. The Galileo spacecraft tested its equipment on asteroid Gaspra, and that was the first of 2 asteroid flybys. So Galileo was the first spacecraft to fly past an asteroid and take close-up images. And it was in 93 it did its second flyby of Ida, and that's when it discovered the first moon, Dactyl. And its diameter is 1.5 kilometres. So that's pretty big, isn't it? It's like a big chunky thing. And it orbits 62 miles from Ida's centre. So that's pretty cool, isn't it?
Like that.
Yeah. So in 96, NEAR was launched, NEAR was launched on a Delta II. And its whole goal was to land on an asteroid and look at its mineralogy and morphology, internal mass distribution and magnetic field. And it did all those things. A highly successful space mission. It's one that's kind of been forgotten now, But I mean,
You
how
don't hear
amazing
much
is that?
about that, do
no,
you?
no. But it's like it's a space mission that's actually incredible. It landed on landed on an asteroid. It's like, you know what I mean? It's pretty incredible.
It's crazy.
It actually flew past Matilda before getting to Eros. I managed to photograph 60% of Matilda's surface while it was sort of having its 25-minute encounter as it flew past.
25-minute encounter. I like that.
Yeah, which is just about how long most of your relationships last.
That's true, actually, yeah.
It's
funny because it's true.
So in 1999, we had to wait along a 6-year dry spell.
Yeah.
We discovered the second moon
You're not
of an
going to say
asteroid.
Eugenia, are you?
And the moon Petit Prince. Napoleon III. And it's from a painting, anyway.
Bit of a diss, that, isn't it?
Apparently that's a bit of an urban myth that Napoleon was small. Yeah, it's really weird.
Same as me, though. It's an urban myth that I'm 5'7".
But that's not small. I mean, I think
But when you meet me, you know, in the podcast world, I'm probably about 6'8", I reckon.
The very, very imaginatively titled spacecraft, Deep Space One, passed asteroid 9669 Braille.
Oh, it's my favourite number, Braille, that.
Yeah, of all the asteroids Braille named after Braille, that's certainly the best one. And it was one of the very first spacecraft, as you know, Jamie, to have ion engines.
That's true.
And
I was just about to say that.
And ion engines have been absolutely the don when it comes to exploring the asteroids and comets, both Dawn and Rosetta.
Well, it's the only engines I'd rely on.
2002, the Stardust spacecraft encounters asteroid Anne Frank.
Anne Frank.
Anne Frank also turned out to be 2 times bigger than anticipated because of its very dim surface.
So 2nd of March 2004, Rosetta launched on Ariane 5. You love Ariane 5, don't you, Matt?
I do love Ariane 5, and certainly Rosetta is certainly something that us Europeans should be incredibly proud of.
Well, we chatted to one of the main men, didn't we? Gerhard.
2007, what launched in 2007?
Dawn.
Off she went to study the asteroid belt. So in 2008, Rosetta passed and photographed asteroid Steins. And Steins is a member of a small and rare class of asteroids, the E-types, not to be confused with Jaguars, but a special type of asteroid composed of silicates and basalts.
Matt, what's your favourite vintage car?
The Aston Martin.
See, yeah, that is a great one, but mine will always be the Ford Mustang. 1966, black Ford Mustang, please.
No.
If there's anyone from Ford listening,
give me an Aston Martin DB4.
Any excuse to bring out more. Brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Well, it's because it's the best car. 2010. Now, here's an ace space mission that's just the best. Is Hayabusa.
Good old Japan. Hayabusa.
That actually managed to get samples from an asteroid and bring them back to Earth.
So scientists hadn't really been able to, other than what had crashed to Earth in the past, really study it.
Yeah, that's another one of those forgotten missions. I think needs to be talked about more. It's amazing. I think it's because Dawn and Rosetta have just been so amazing.
That's true. Kind of clouded.
So Rosetta also flew past the asteroid Lutetia, longest side 130 kilometres.
Blimey.
And the images were so good you can see down to 60 metres in detail. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
That is close.
But in 2010, in the same year, the Hubble telescope spotted the first collision between 2 asteroids, which is believed to be the first one ever seen. 2011, so we get exciting times, isn't it? Dawn arrived and started orbiting Vesta. So that's the first time that a spacecraft has actually managed to get into an orbit, I believe, of an asteroid, and learnt a lot about Vesta. And then Rosetta, in 2014 managed to reach the comet 67P Churyumov-Gerasimenko.
Glad you pronounced that.
I've tried it before on the show and got it hideously wrong. I don't think I did particularly well there, but
it's because you've been hanging out with your mate.
Alicia would definitely say that.
Good old Alicia.
And of course, one of the most famous moments in space history so far is when the Philae lander, on the 12th of November 2014, landed on the comet.
Absolutely. Incredible scenes.
Absolutely awesome. Then 2015, Dawn managed to get into Ceres orbit. So, and as it approached, we saw that brilliant little unknown white spot on Ceres, and everyone was very, very excited.
Ooh, what's that?
Oh, what is that?
Is it ice?
Well, it looks, looks like, there's some kind of volcanicity of some form, and icy, salty stuff coming to the surface in a crater. Wow. It's really quite exciting. And it was supposed to go off to a third object, but NASA have decided to keep Dawn in orbit around Ceres to get as much information as possible. Right. And of 30th of September last year, Rosetta made her landing on the comet to join little Philae.
Philae.
That was the end of the mission.
Well, what an incredible run through of history.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the history of space flight and asteroids, and I brought in a little bit of comets because obviously Rosetta got involved in all that.
Yeah. No stone unturned there, Matt. No asteroid unturned.
A really interesting fact is if you got all the asteroids together, crushed them all up, splattered them all together, including all the big ones like Ceres and Pallas and Vesta and all that lot, and you scrunched them all up, every single one of them, still nowhere near as big as the moon.
God, that's nuts, isn't it?
So
you would have thought that they would be.
Yeah. Yet Blimey. But the annoying thing is they're out there, and the Earth could one day, as it has done in the past, smash into one, and it's all over.
Yeah, this is the thing. We definitely shouldn't take them for granted.
No, so I shall be talking to Debbie about what they talked about at Asteroid Day at the Imperial College on Friday. How cool is that?
Very cool. I've learned something.
Oh, so Jamie, we're having we know we've got to get through our 500 odd astronauts.
Okay, so how many are we on now?
I think we're on 4.
Are we on 4? Well, we're steaming through it.
Yeah. Who are we going to do? Who is Astronaut of the Week?
Astronaut of the Week is this week Ilan Ramon.
Well, luckily I had the fortunate position of just finishing Mike Massimino's book about being a spaceman. Yeah. And he reads the book, and it's fantastic. By the way, anyone, you should just listen. Get that book on Audible. It's absolutely fantastic. It's my favourite. It's definitely my favourite spaceman book so far.
Check it out.
But it's really good the fact that Mike Massimino reads it. He's just such a great person to listen to.
Called?
But I think it is called Spaceman. I think that's it. I think that's what it's called. I think
we'll check it out.
And he talks about Ilan Ramon in very glowing terms, and I believe, and he does pronounce it Ilan Ramon. And so he talks about him in very glowing terms when he arrived. This guy was such a great energy, and because of his kind of political status as being an Israeli astronaut, it was pretty obvious that he was going to fly the next mission, that he was definitely going to be sort of pushed in that direction. Yeah. Plus, when you read this guy's resume, you realise, this guy ain't messing around.
Well, let's go through it. Where did it start?
Well, it all started back in June 20th, 1954, in Ramat Gan in Israel, where he was born Ilan Wolferman.
What a surname.
Yeah, and he changed Ilan, meaning tree in Hebrew.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Guess what my name means in Hebrew, Jamie?
I've got to be careful here.
It's God's gift. Let's move on.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Matthew means God's gift in Hebrew.
Oh dear.
And Russell means to women.
Oh God.
But Matthew does mean God's gift.
Okay.
Or gift of God.
You keep telling yourself that.
Yes, Ramon became a space shuttle payload specialist on STS-107, of which we'll hear more of later.
We will.
We will. And he's the only person ever to receive the United States Congressional Space Medal of Honor.
Oh, wow.
That's not American.
Yeah.
His father was from Germany, and his family had fled Nazi persecution, and his grandparents were Holocaust survivors from Auschwitz. So a pretty tough background. He graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Electronics and Computer Engineering from Tel Aviv University.
Nice.
He was a colonel and a fighter pilot in the Israeli Air Force. And being in the Israeli Air Force is no mean feat. They're possibly amongst the greatest pilots in the world, purely because obviously they live in one of the most dangerous
top drawer
areas of the world. And they are the sort of first line of defence. So the people in the Air Force in Israel are pretty highly regarded.
Yeah.
So 1981 to 83, he was a deputy squadron commander. And then in 1981, and this is probably, other than his space shuttle mission, one of the things he's most famous for, he was the youngest of an elite set of pilots. And when I say elite, I mean elite set of pilots who took part in Operation Opera, which I actually do remember, where the Israelis flew into Iraq and bombed the Osirak nuclear reactor because they were so scared that Iraq was going to get a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
That they flew basically one of the most daring missions of all time. Now, so a little tidbit that I picked up from Mike Massimino's book was that he was flying at the back because he was the youngest. They sort of, he was in the kind of the rearest position of this group of fighter planes flying in to do this bombing mission. So he was at the back, which basically means that you are the most likely to die because they've had the most amount of time to get this to get their aim. So he was at the back in one of the most dangerous missions ever, and in the most dangerous position. So this kid at the time was a pretty amazing fighter pilot. He then went on to serve as deputy squadron commander, flying the F-4 Phantom, and then went back to the F-16. And commanded a squadron in 1992, and then was promoted to rank of colonel. And so he's accumulated 3,000 flight hours in A4s, Mirages, F4s, and over 1,000 flight hours in F-16s. So that he's a pilot, pretty much a peerless pilot.
Pretty experienced there.
Yeah. So obviously, Israel sent their very best person to become a NASA astronaut. This was Israel's, check out this guy. Here we go. Go over to America, become an astronaut. This is the best of the best that we have. And it was so STS-107 on the space shuttle Columbia. That flew on January the 16th, 2003, was a 24-hour-a-day science mission. So they went up and just basically did experiments for 24 hours a day in alternating shifts, and they managed to get 80 experiments done. And while he was on board that mission, Ramon, even though he was a secular Jew, he really felt that he was representing all Jews and all Israelis.
Absolutely.
So he took that responsibility extremely seriously.
No doubt.
He had kosher food while on board, the first person to request kosher food in space, I believe. And he also took advice from a rabbi about how to observe the Sabbath in space, because of course they have lots of sunrises every day. So obviously the Sabbath becomes kind of a bit of a weird.
That's right.
You can't
weird
pray
meaning.
that
long, can you? You wouldn't get any experiments done.
And he took quite a few Jewish kind of memorabilia. Well, I say memorabilia, sort of Jewish important objects into space. So one of them was a moon landscape that was drawn by a 16-year-old Peter Gintz, who had died in Auschwitz.
Oh.
He also took a microfiche copy of the Torah that was given to him by President Moshe Katsav. And he was also given a miniature Torah scroll by Professor Yahuwah Yosef, who was a Belsen survivor. So that's come from that come from Belsen, and also the Holocaust Survivor Club in Los Angeles, called the 1939 Club, gave him a barbed wire mezuzah by the artist Amy Gollant.
Interesting. What is a mezuzah?
Do you know what? I don't know what mezuzah is. I maybe should have looked that up.
I'm going to Google it now.
Yeah.
Of biblical origin, therefore carries great weight. Comprises a piece of parchment called a claft, inscribed with a specific Hebrew verse from the Torah. Okay, interesting.
So yeah, he took quite a few. He's got quite a few military decorations from the Yom Kippur War, the Operation Peace of the Galilee, and the 1,000 flight hours in an F-16 gives you a military and lots of things have been named after him. Ramon Airport.
Yes.
He's had an asteroid 51828 named after him.
Nice.
There's Ramon Hill on Mars, Ramon Crater on the Moon, lots of university campuses in both Israel and America, and lots of schools, lots of primary schools, especially in Israel, are called...
he's a bit of a legend,
Ilan Ramon,
by all accounts.
And lots of street names everywhere, including Canada. So, yes, I mean, he's a massive hero, really. And the start of Columbia's mission, he had been greeted by a wave of excitement in Israel, and it was on the front cover of every single newspaper.
Yeah.
And school children learned about all the scientific experiments that he was going to conduct in orbit. He was portrayed as a figure of unity at the time, so it was like all the political divisions. It was kind of a way of bringing the Palestinians and the Israeli people together, and was also sort of seen as a symbol of the close relationship between US and Israel, and sort of showing off Israel's scientific and technological prowess.
Of course.
And here we get to the saddest part of the story, I'm afraid, Jamie.
Oh, go on then.
Well, Columbia, of course, STS, for those more eagle-eyed or eagle-eared listeners, I'm afraid STS-107 was the terrible disaster where Columbia broke up on re-entry.
It did. Very sad.
Because of a piece of foam that had fallen off.
And it was 6 crew that died?
Yep. All 6 crew died, unfortunately, and of course, they're only 15 minutes away from landing, so all their families are there at the landing site.
Awful,
and awful. In Israel, of course, that was pretty much a really devastating blow. Taxis apparently sort of stopped at the side of the road and put their doors and windows open and just let blasting the news out into the street, and all the TV broadcasts just had somber music in between all the programs. And the Israeli Prime Minister basically said, that he was going to be mourned by all his countrymen as the best we could offer.
Absolutely.
Yes. And the tragedy actually doesn't stop there, because Ramon was survived by his wife Rona and their 4 children. And unfortunately, his son went to become a fighter pilot and also died in 2009, aged 21, on a routine flight of his F-16.
Oh, God.
So, 3 months after graduating as the top cadet.
It just goes on to prove that it's a dangerous place, isn't it?
Space is a dangerous place, but these people that go into space are incredible people, and
very brave.
They genuinely put their lives on the line,
and
their families know they're
paving the way, because, as Elon once said, every mistake we learn something from it, and we get better.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's one of the reasons why
these people.
One of the extraordinary things is that there was his diary while he was in space. Actually, a big chunk of it survived.
Oh, really?
Survived re-entry. And I think you can see a couple of pages of it in the Israeli Museum in Jerusalem, I think it is.
Oh, it'd be interesting to read that.
Yeah, and the woman, Yigal Salmona, who's the curator there,
Yeah.
She pointed out that Dara had survived extreme heat in the explosion, atmospheric cold, attacks by microorganisms and insects once it was on the ground. It's just incredible that it's survived, and so
Absolutely
pretty much no rational explanation of how it did.
Yeah.
So one of the lines in there that's on display is, "Today was the first day that I felt that I am truly living in space. I have become a man who lives and work in space." And that
Wow.
was, and that was on the last day that he wrote that in his journal.
Incredible.
Yeah. So what a great guy.
Absolutely.
And a tragic loss.
But what a life. My word. What a legacy.
Yeah. So, there we go. There
Incredible.
was Ilan Ramon.
So, listeners, if you've got a favourite astronaut that we haven't yet covered, please feel free to comment or send us an email or, tweet us, and we'll put them onto the show.
And in a few hours' time, I believe we have a Long March 5 going up.
Yeah.
And not too long after, a Falcon 9.
Yeah, I'm on my way now to the launch site. Going to get ready to go
to China.
I'm not.
So, and then after that, we haven't got one for ages. So I don't think we'll have much.
Let's make the most of these, okay?
Yeah, so, I mean, he's proper popping them out now, isn't he? Old Elon Musk on the Falcon 9. They are going up.
He's not
They are
mucking
going
about.
up big time.
Really is. Well, it's always good to speak to you, Matthew. I want you to have a good weekend, get some rest, and then we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week, and hopefully we'll have that little chat with Debbie for next week. And we may even have another guest on the podcast next week, which would be really exciting.
Ooh.
But it's been quite a hard one to arrange a window of opportunity for interview, because it's an American guest.
You're leaving a cliffhanger here, aren't you?
I am.
What you're
leaving
doing
a cliffhanger.
is making people excited to come back and listen again, aren't you?
We have got a couple of corking guests in the next few weeks, so keep listening in.
Subscribe, space freaks.
Oh yeah, definitely subscribe to the old iTunes, etc.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, keep leaving your comments and emailing us at the website. It's a new look website, of course, at www.interplanetary.org.uk. Just come join us. Come join us out in space.
Where can people buy the merch, Matt?
That from the website from interplanetary.org.uk.
Because if we haven't mentioned it, guys, you can buy a whole host of exciting merch. Mugs, T-shirts, clocks.
Yeah. Arthur performed at the school fete in his Interplanetary podcast T-shirt today.
Serious?
Yeah, serious, man.
I really need to get involved. I still haven't got mine. Extra large, please.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about your... Yeah. If it's anything to do with the podcast, you're actually 6'8".
Oh, dear. Well, Matt, it's been a pleasure. And thanks for listening, guys. And we'll see you next week.
See you next week, Space Cats.
Ta-ta!
Ta-ta.